Rheumatic diseases affect women to a much greater extent than men. But no one is researching why. Well, almost no one.
Addressing the sex differences or the difference in frequency between women and men, it is so under-researched.
Marie Wahren-Herlenius saw rheumatism firsthand when she was a child.
My maternal grandmother developed rheumatoid arthritis, and that is really my first experience of autoimmune and rheumatic disease.
This is Marie here, at 6 years old with her great-grandmother Marta at a family gathering in 1973.
As a child, I would wonder about her hands and also later her medication and how she felt about it and how it affected her in her life. We already understand that the immune system and its activity is different between women and men. This project will further look into those parts to understand the process in developing disease and how we can potentially inhibit that.
Marie researches the rheumatic disease Sjögren's syndrome, in which 9 out of 10 affected are women.
So the basis for the disease is that the immune system attacks tissues of your own body. And in the case of Sjögren's syndrome, it's the exocrine glands. The patients often have joint pain and muscle pain. But then altogether, it affects your sleep with tiredness, then dryness, difficulties in swallowing, pain in your eyes. Yes, it's a very difficult disease to live with.
Marie and her colleagues are looking for answers within genetics. Our DNA is full of genes. There can be different variants of a specific gene. And it has been discovered that certain gene variants are associated with an increased risk of developing Sjögren's syndrome. But these gene variants are just as common in men as in women. Yet they trigger disease almost solely in women.
What we really want to understand is what is it in women that increases the risk for these rheumatic and autoimmune diseases so much more than in men.
One big difference between men and women is within sex chromosomes, the part of the DNA that determines what biological sex we become.
So women carry 2 X chromosomes, while men carry 1 X chromosome and a Y chromosome. And the main difference here is the size. So the X chromosome is much larger than the Y chromosome, about 5 times as large.
This difference may provide clues as to why women get rheumatic disease to such a greater extent. The X chromosome contains about 1,000 genes. To avoid a double dose of X genes, 1 X is turned off in each cell in females. But it has been observed that certain parts become reactivated, and that there are genes believed to be central to the development of autoimmune diseases.
We can have XX females. So those that are male, they have the SRI gene expressed.
In all women, parts of the X chromosomes are reactivated, but not everyone gets Sjögren's syndrome, where the immune system attacks its own body. So what lies behind this?
So I imagine that it's both the hormonal environment together with the specificity that the genetic variants give, and that those interact together to lead to the disease development.
The project maps differences between immune cells, what is behind the differences, and how these special gene variants linked to Sjögren syndrome affect immune cells in both biologically male and female individuals. In this way, the hope is to find targets for drugs to prevent or alleviate the disease.
I would really like to understand the mechanisms as to why women so much more often develop rheumatic diseases. I think that will give us means both to develop prevention and better therapies in the future. That would be amazing.